Yan. Good morning. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stocks Eds weekend seminar. And today, ang video po natin is about no-nonsense technical analysis. It's a basic webinar wherein we will be improving your technical analysis understanding. Basically, pang basics po ito so that you can further improve your trading skills if nagsisimula ka pa lang sa stock market trading. This is one of the best videos that you are in, so you're at the right live video. Today I'm going to be joined by my fellow educator sa StockEd, mga kapayaman ko rin, na si Mr. Arnel Pipito. You can unmute yourselves.
So,
Kristine, yeah, please introduce yourselves. Arnel first.
hello, my name is Arnel. Good evening, everyone. So, we're really happy to spend time with you. So, ano natin to? Saturday habit natin to learn more about stock markets. I'm with Lloyd and also our guest, Kristine, to talk about more on this. So, this is really for our new traders, newbies who are really learning about technical analysis. So sit back and relax. We're gonna be really teaching you on many things about this.
All right. And Christine, please introduce yourself.
Hello guys. I'm Kristine. Welcome to this webinar. I really hope na from the things that we will be sharing with you tonight, your learnings on technical analysis will be improved.
All right. And ako po si Lloyd Bazar, and I'm a financial educator. What do you call this? Ano po ako? Influencer po about investing, and I've been specializing in stock market. I've been traveling all over the world to teach Filipinos sa buong sulok ng mundo about investing in the stock market. And today we're gonna be sharing our knowledge to you guys. If you find this video interesting and you think this is gonna help you, please do share this video to your friends. Paki-share po sa Facebook walls ninyo, and also don't forget to like our Facebook page, Stocks Ed, and join our group sa Stocks Ed po. Today this is recorded live, so please do if you have any questions, post it in the comments so that we can go through it. If you have any questions in the future, you can send us a message sa Facebook page namin. And again, today we're gonna be talking about technical analysis, understanding what technical analysis is, yung mga important things, theories in technical analysis that you need to understand. We're gonna be talking about that. Support and resistances, very important when it comes to technical analysis po yun, trends, and other technical analysis things that you will know, and especially application, ituturo po namin yan sa inyo tonight. So, you brace yourselves, medyo advanced na ito. Ito yung parang mahirap na parts in trading stocks. You can even use this in investing also. But ito na yung pinakamahirap na part when it comes to investing in stocks. Yung technical analysis, madugo ito, nosebleed ang karamihan dito, maraming nagkakamali. Sometimes technical analysis even gives starters, yung mga newbies, false hope about trading, na akala nila natutunan nila yung technical analysis, marunong sila mag-trade. So we are gonna be teaching you everything you need to know. Before we start, forward from our fellow kapayaman, Arnel and Christine, you have anything to share first?
Yun, exciting to ngayon. Sa sinabi na ni Lloyd, medyo challenging ito for starters because of, you know what, stock market is really terminology heavy, and not on stock market technical analysis. As soon as you will start to study about technical analysis, it's gonna give you some medyo challenging siya if you're going to take a look on the terminologies. But no, that's why we're here. We really wanted to spend time with you, share about many things. Don't worry, we're gonna be part of your journey on learning about technical analysis. So right now, solid yung ano natin, mga speakers natin, And yun, again, I forgot to introduce myself kanina din. Yeah, my name is Arnel. I'm a portfolio manager by profession. So this is what I do full time. I also co-founded StocksEd, and just like Lloyd and also Kristine, we've been educating Filipino people learning about stock market. So this is really our heart, is to really, kasi alam naman natin it's only 1% of Filipinos investing in the stock market, and we want to boost that. We want to help people, and not only help people learning about stock market, it's really learning the right way. Kasi hindi naman kami magbibigay ng any false hopes or any strategies that could really parang yung intention namin is really to help you. Our intention is really to guide you through as much as possible yung tamang strategies na hindi tayo madala sa hype, or it's not gonna um, it's gonna lead us directly na ma-fail agad tayo. Of course, we will fail in terms of trading, but tuturuan namin kayo to do risk management and to really learn step-by-step process.
All right. How about Kristine?
Okay, so I'll quick introduction lang about me. So I'm doing stock trading sideline. So my profession talaga is I'm a chemist. I work in a pharmaceutical company. So self-taught technical analyst, I want to call myself. So I learned from books, from YouTubes, from seminars. So although alam naman natin na medyo challenging talaga yung technical analysis, but when you get to know it, you get to learn it, you get to practice it can actually give you good positions for entry and exit and stop loss. So makakatulong siya talaga on managing your portfolio. So I hope you learn a lot from this webinar and the succeeding webinars that we will be conducting related to stock trading.
All right. So yes, again guys, this is recorded live. So if ever magkaroon tayo ng problema along the way, please do understand. We'll try to fix everything as much as we can. Anyways, we have prepared for this. Hopefully, yung everything goes maging kaibigan natin ngayon para maging successful itong session na ito. Again, please share the video. Paki-share po sa mga friends ninyo, to your Facebook walls. If you have any trading groups, investment groups, please do share this para naman po marami tayong matulungan ng mga newbies when it comes to stock market trading. And yan, to start off, yan, FG Martin, Mark, Rosario, Neil, Bilon, Mel. Hi po, may gabi. Bisaya, may mga Bisaya din dito. Ray, Enrico, Anora, Joko France, thanks a ton for this. Solid educators, thank you so much. All right, so let's start off. Let me go to the slides really quick. So ito po yung what do you call this? Program natin ngayon. Actually, andyan sa lower ito, which is August 23. Dapat 22 yan. Every Saturdays po may program po ang Stocks Ed for you guys. We already started with August 8 for this month, How to Make Money in Stocks by Arnel. August 15, we had this session with Chi and Chano. And tonight we're having this No Nonsense Technical Analysis with me and Arnel and with Tin. And then next session po is August 29, Hearing the Heartbeat of the Market. So lahat na ito, kami na lahat ng mga educators are gonna be with you on the live. So expect po on August 29 another session like this. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead with technical analysis. Ano ba yung what is the difference? Unahin ko na lang ito. For sure you know already what fundamental analysis is. For those who don't know yet, fundamental analysis basically is the structure of the company. Ito yung parang yung pillars of the company, di ba? Is the company good? Is the company strong? Maganda ba yung future ng company? Maganda ba yung growth ng company? Maganda ba yung earnings nila? Maganda ba yung management? The company, generally, is it a good company to invest in? So that's fundamentals. Pwedeng pangit, meaning pangit yung fundamentals ng company. Usually, we don't like to invest in these companies if the company is basically fundamentally good. we really want to look into that company. And maybe in the future, ride its trend. Usually, umaakit kasi yan, yung stock price niya, if fundamentally good ang company. Right? So, what's the difference between fundamentals and our topic tonight, which is technical analysis? Basically, I will put it in one line. Fundamentals will tell you to qualify a stock. Basically, it will tell you what stocks to buy. Ano yung magandang bilhin na mga stocks. If they're fundamentally good, magandang bilhin. Technical analysis will tell you how to enter, or technical analysis will tell you when to enter. So, fundamentals will tell you what stocks to buy. Technical analysis will tell you when to buy. Right? So, that's a basic difference between technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Mr. Arnel, Kristine, you have something to put into may inputs kayo about that, the difference between fundamentals and technical analysis?
Yeah, correct. So basically, ano lang, to really simplify it, fundamental analysis is for commonly used by fundamental people doing long-term investing, and for technical analysis, people who are doing trading.
Yes.
Kasi for fundamental analysis is really sizing up the company,
Mhm.
and it's really checking on the underlying value of the company. Sometimes yung effect niya is really for long term. So yun, much better for to be used for long-term investors, and especially if you're looking on this company's as business talaga,
Right.
or looking on the business model of the company. But for technical analysis, if you want to take advantage of the prices or the price movements of the company, and you can use this to your advantage as well.
So basically, takeaway natin doon is, what Arnel is saying is, mas ginagamit ang fundamentals ng mga long-term investors. And for those na mga traders na for gusto ng mga mas mabilis na kitaan sa stock market, they tend to use technical analysis more, right? How about Kristine?
Yeah.
Okay, so sa technical analysis, kasi you look actually at the price chart. So what you're looking at is patterns. So syempre, alam naman natin yung terminology na history repeats itself.
Right.
So we can use that information for us to be able to make our position for trading. Yun. So basically, ganon yung difference niya between fundamental analysis.
All right. Thank you. Alright, so continue. What is technical analysis ngayon? Technical analysis is a trading discipline or strategy employed to evaluate investments and identify trading opportunities by analyzing statistical trends gathered from trading activities such as price movement and volume. So basically, pwede ka naman mag-invest talaga na pasok ka lang kaagad, di ba? But when it comes to technical analysis, you can use this to get a better price para mas makatake advantage ka sa price movement. So mas malaki ang earnings mo. It's adding meticulousness in your investing. Pero the more sophisticated you are, the more meticulous you are applying technical analysis, mas malaki rin earnings mo because you are able to take advantage of good opportunities to enter because of technical analysis. Okay? Now, there are 3 basic tenets of technical analysis. Ito yung parang tatlong theory, right? It's called the Dow theory, pero ito yung tatlong pinaka-importante na part sa sa theory ng Dow theory. Si Mr. Charles Dow, siya yung pinakaunang gumawa ng indexes. If you're familiar with DJI, Dow Jones Index, siya po ang gumawa nito. Charles Dow proposed 3 basic underlying assumptions or tenets upon which his theory of market price analysis is based. We're gonna be talking about price analysis a lot because basically prices in the market move. It's called the price action, and we will be analyzing those price action a lot. And through so many years of studying, Mr. Charles Dow noticed some patterns na, and then he theorized these 3 things, most important things that you need to understand also. Number 1 po is, ito yung 3 primary Dow theory. Ito, market discounts everything. right? Market discounts everything. Let me just check the slides ko if ever tama ba yung slide. All right, very good. So this is the premise says that all available market information will reflect in the price, right? Unahin ko ito, usually pangatlo ito sa theory, but I wanna talk about this. Basically what this means is that the market knows all the available risks and opportunities, and this becomes more and while this becomes more and more relevant, it will reflect on the price. Ito yung mga market risk, like for example, lahat na lang ng data when it comes to things that will affect the market. For example, inflation, geopolitical situation, even war, right? So, yan, yung mga interest rates, marami pong information, and magre-reflect po ang market kung anong presyo ng market. It's a reflection of the situation. Basically, market will discount everything. So instead, and then ayun, para lang to put this into a very simple perspective, instead of looking at so many news, right? And stories, 'di ba? Na for example, si SM may ganito, may ganyan, yung politics pa natin, may problema ganito ganyan. International market, meron pang mga trade wars, etc. Yung mga news na yun. So, if you look at so many news, you're just gonna confuse yourself, diba? What this theory says is just look at the price, right? And it will tell you the general status of the market. The market will discount everything. What is happening in the market right now? Kapayaman Arnel, can you please share anong status ng PSEI ngayon, and what do you think is the bakit naka-discount ang market ngayon?
Yeah, basically, I have something to tell about this because we've been really looking on the possibilities of what's going to be happening with the market. Two news that we are really looking at was yung pagbalik natin into MECQ. So many people are expecting that the market will really go down that much, just like what happened during mid-March.
Right.
And also we expect that the economic growth will really fall below the expected rate that we have, and
Right.
it did went down like negative around 16% Q2 during Q2. So we expect that it's gonna go down. But if you're going to take a look on what happened, hindi naman talaga siya bumaba masyado. So ibig sabihin nun discounted na, ibig sabihin nun yung mga bad news na nangyayari surrounding us, people are really expecting the worst case scenario na. Parang kasi what happened kasi nung March, 'di ba? Nagpanic yung mga tao, panic selling. So nagbebenta. Even they're holding really good companies. They really sell because yun yung market sentiment. And later on, I'm going to talk about market sentiment. So yun, right now we are going sideways around 6,000 level.
Right.
So we're expecting that's going to go sideways as well for the next coming weeks. Because yun nga, walang ano yung direction ng market natin. Walang masyadong exact direction, either up or down. So yeah, that's gonna go sideways for a long period of time.
Right. But basically, yan, sinasabi ng theory is actually apat tong theory nito but we'll disregard the fourth one because yung pang-apat niya theory applies in the international markets kasi with Dow Jones being in the international market. But basically, this theory says na the market will discount everything. So, kung ano ang nangyayari overall sa lahat, makikita nyo po sa market. And when COVID started, nakita nyo po, grabe ang bagsak ng market because the market will show you what is happening. So, again, to summarize this theory, instead of looking at so many news and stories and confuse yourself, just look at the price. Yun yung theory na yun. The second theory that you can see on the screen right now is says the market will have 3 trends. Yan. May 3 trends ang market. According to his observation, may 3 trend ang market. The the market will always trend. And you can see that in our markets talaga, right? It may go upward, sidewards, or downwards for a long period of time. Think of, let's say, CHP. Let me open the chart of CHP. Let me go to charts. Meron akong charts na Right, so let me go to CHP. Sensya na ako na nag-ooperate lahat. So, CHP, look at the prices of CHP. Ito, pababa yung presyo. So, that means, yan yung downtrend. So, I'm just giving you a picture anong titignan ninyo. Next is, there is sidewards. Ayan. Think of Tesla when it comes to uptrend. So, Tesla, I focus in the international market. So, yeah, bibigyan ko po kayo ng mga examples ng international market din also. Tesla. And TSLA. Right, so think of Tesla as an uptrend. Overall, tingnan nyo po yan. So, makikita nyo po na paakit yung presyo ng Tesla. So, it's a very beautiful representation of an uptrend. Think of, let's say, BDO. Lately, ito yung galaw ni BDO. Lately, makikita nyo po ang presyo for how many days nagsa-sideways lang siya. So, think of BDO as sideways. Yun yung mga trends. We'll talk about trends later on. Okay? But then again, I want to focus on, let me go to the, let me focus on trends ulit. Right? Rumors may affect the movement of a stock, but when we talk about a long time scale, mahabang time scale, right? Alam nyo naman po, especially sa PSE, if you notice this already, if you've been a long time trader, dito sa PSE, since maliliit lang mga companies, a little rumor can really move a stock that much, right? 2 years ago, may nangyari about Now, yung rumor nga Now Telecom, magiging third telco. So, from 2 pesos, gumalaw yung stock niya to 20 pesos. That's times 10 of your investment. So, ganun kabilis gumalaw dito sa PSE. So, it happens, right? Rumors may affect the movement of a stock, but when we talk about long time scale, like a long uptrend, which is what we call the primary trend, right, for a long period of time, let's say 10 years, right? Rumors cannot affect that much because there is more money involved, stakes are higher, and manipulation on long term is not possible, especially in blue chips. So it makes more sense to look at technical analysis on a longer time frame. So point is, meron pong market trends, kahit na po may rumors pa mangyari dyan, there is an overall trend that we will look at, and markets will always trend. Okay, so yun po ang what do you call this, pinaka-importanteng takeaway for this second theory. The market will have 3 trends, right? Uptrend, sideways trend, and downwards trend. We'll talk more about that because it's very important to understand trends. And then lastly, ito pinaka-importante, trends have 3 phases, right? Before po mangyari ang trend, meron po itong step by step na mangyayari muna bago ito mangyari. Especially let's look at an uptrend, diba? Right? So, ito, if you can see your screen, pasensya na medyo blurred. But, yes, ito yung mga phases ng isang uptrend, right? We have the accumulation phase, or on this diagram, it's called the smart money. Meron ditong let me use the pointer para makita nyo. So, itong area nito. So, this is the stealth phase, usually accumulation phase, right? So, dito nagsisimula ng, if you will be hearing this term as you go along trading. Ito yung bodega, meaning you are accumulating. So, those who are already good in trading or in investing, fund managers like Mr. Arnel, like Kapayaman Arnel Pepito, ito yung ginagawa nila. Whenever they see that the market has potential already, they will be looking for companies that has potential also to grow, right? And then during this stealth phase, ito yung accumulation phase. Nag-accumulate na po ang mga magagaling mag-trade dyan. Right? So they start buying stocks slowly until they reach yung budget nila, magkano yung gusto nila accumulate for that stock. Okay, next is the public participation, or this is the awareness area dito sa chart na nakikita ninyo. So, institutional investors, dito na parang nagsisimula na siyang mag-trending. So, there are more people who will be buying in this one, and since malakas na yung demand niya, usually ito na yung last phase, which is the excess phase or the mania phase na nakikita nyo dyan. Dyan na po lumilipad at nagkakapera na po ang mga tao. Okay? Pero ang problema, sa blow-off phase, bumabagsak rin yan. Right? Bumabagsak rin yan, and then we'll discuss more about this on later. Pero yan po basically ang that is what the third theory says, na the trends have three phases. So those are the phases that we need to understand. Okay? So ito yung theory na ito yung three primary Dow theory assumptions. Napakaganda ng third na napakaganda ng third na theory because you already know about market cycle, 'di ba? But for those who don't know yet, we'll discuss about market cycle in a bit. But this is what Dow explained in his theory. He explained that in the long term, primary uptrend, you have the accumulation, then you go to mania. Now, this happens, this still happens today, right? This is very nice to look at. It still happens today. Isn't it interesting that certain tendencies of human behavior and patterns can still happen even if it already happened so many years ago? Kahit na natuto ng mga tao, nangyayari pa rin yan ngayon. And it is one thing that is interesting in the market also. Noon, nangyari na yung .com bubble, right? Tumataas talaga yung presyo ng prices, and then suddenly nagko-collapse. Nangyari ulit yan after the housing bubble, na sobrang daming bumibili ng mga nag-invest sa housing, and then nagko-collapse after. And then meron pang, even lately, nangyari na yan kay Bitcoin, di ba? So it still happens, nagkakaroon ng parang yung phases, and then yung mania phase lumilipad talaga at lumilipad, then bumabagsak, and maraming naiipit because they don't understand the phases. But then again, human behavior, we want to point out na these are patterns that always happen even until now. Okay? So these are the things that you need to understand sa Dow theory na yun. Okay? Alright, so technical analysis, we're still into technical analysis, going to the slideshow. Ayan, basically, na-explain na natin to. Technical analysis is the study of price movements of any security pictured into a graph, okay, for the purpose of spotting and following price trends. We'll talk about trends later on. But, I'm gonna go with, pakita ko muna sa inyo ang chart, right? Let me go to the close-up, and let's look at the chart. And this is what a chart looks like, right? On the upper right side, upper left side, right here, you are gonna see ano yung pangalan ng stock niya, and then you are gonna see here, kung nakikita nyo to sa TV, ganito most probably ang nakikita ninyo. Yan, ganito yung nakikita nyo sa TV, okay? Because this kind of charting only shows you yung price closing movement. So, makikita nyo yung mga movements niya. Let's say, for example, Tesla. Let's look at the international market Tesla. So, ito yung mga nakikita nyo. Uy, si Tesla, all-time high ngayon, $2,049 na si Tesla. So, makikita nyo po yan, yung history na movements niya. But if you're into technical analysis, if you really want to look at charts, you will use the candlesticks, which is right here. So, ito yung itsura niya. Now, I'm gonna be discussing to you how to read a candlestick. Isang bar na ito, itong solid na bar na ito is called a candlestick. May pula, may green. Okay? May mga malalaki, may maliliit, may mga matataas ang mga buntot, may mga maiiksi ang buntot, like this one right here. Meron din mga matataas na buntot right here. So, I'll teach you now how to read these. Okay. Sorry. Alright, so, right, on your screen right now, these are called bar charts, and this is a candlestick chart. Okay? Let's go to candlesticks charts right away. The black one, since black yung ano ko, this is let's consider this as red. Okay? Kulayin ko na lang. And then green here. So, yan. So, di ba dalawa yung kulay na nakita nyo kanina sa candlesticks? May green, mayroong red. Okay? So, the candlesticks, lahat ng parts na nakikita niyo sa kanya is meron pong ibig sabihin. It gives data. Right? That's why we use candlesticks more. It's because it gives us more information compared dun sa linya lang. Kasi yung linya lang, ang pinapakita niya lang is yung price kung on that day, magkano siya nag-close. Right? You don't know magkano siya nag-open na price, magkano yung mga galaw niya, umabot ba siya na anong presyo, bumaba ba siya na anong presyo, hindi nyo po makikita yan. Sa candlesticks, you will see it. Okay? That's why as traders, we use candlesticks more. Okay? So, there are two candlesticks na kulay, green and red. Right? The green means nag-open siya at the start of the market, it opened at a lower price and closed at a higher price. Okay? So, if ever nag-open siya na mababa and then it closed at a higher price, the candlestick is gonna be green. Opposite naman sa red is kung nag-open siya na mas mataas pero mas mababa yung closing niya. Right? So, if ever mas mataas siya nag-close for the day, say for example, 10 pesos and nag-close siya ng 5 pesos, meaning pula ang magiging candlestick niya. Okay? So, that's the difference between green candlestick and the red candlestick. Hopefully, I'm clear. If you have any questions, please post it on the comments. Right? Okay, now, yung parang buntot na nakita nyo kanina, right? These are called wicks. Right? So, wicks, bale, kung sa candle pa, di ba, yung may parang, hindi ko alam sa Tagalog yun eh, pasensya na Bisaya ako. But, it's called wick. Yun yung parang umaapoy, di ba? So, there's a wick above, there's a wick below the candlesticks. The wicks will tell you what prices did the stock travel within the day. So, meaning, for example, this one right here, it opened right here and closed right here. But within the day, umabot siya hanggang dito yung presyo, and within the day also, bumaba at this price before closing at this level. Let's say, for example, it opened at 10 pesos, it closed at 8 pesos, pero yung wick niya umabot ng 5 pesos, this one umabot ng 12 pesos. So, basically, it tells me that nag-open siya ng 10 pesos, it traveled to 12 pesos within the day, we don't know what hour, but it traveled until 12 pesos within the day, then moved again within the day, umabot rin siya ng 5 pesos and then closed at 8 pesos. Right? So, those are the information that a candlestick can give you. Okay? Yung kulay niya, para lang mas madaling indicator na para malaman nyo po kung mas mababa ba yung opening or closing. Okay? So, that's how you read a candlestick. That's why we use candlesticks more because it gives us more information. We can get the same information using bar charts, but mas gusto usually ng traders ang candlestick charts. Right? Mas madali kasi tingnan eh. Right? So, bar charts is right here. Basically, yung left na bar is where it opened and the right bar is where it closed. So, here, it opened here, it closed here. Wala nga lang siyang kulay. Right? So, I like candlesticks more because it's more visual as a trader. Okay. Going forward. Alright. So, let's talk about market cycles. I did mention about market cycles earlier. Bilisan ko lang to kasi ang haba ng seminar natin ngayon. Technical analysis, again, is ito yung nosebleed na part ng trading talaga. So, we are gonna be trying our best to explain this to you the shortest we can and the clearest that we can. Diba? Alright, so what are market cycles? Basically, market cycles are also known as the stock market cycles is a wide term referring to trends or patterns that emerge during different markets or business environments. Okay? During a cycle, some securities or assets outperform others because their business models align with conditions for growth. Basically, meron pong cycle ang market. Merong panahon na ang markets mababa, especially right now. For example, PSE right now, napakababa. Diba? But then again, it's a cycle. Nangyayari po yan, bumababa ang market. Meron ding panahon na umaakyat ang market at nagmamahal. And at to a point na sobrang mahal niya na for example, ikaw, ayaw mo bumili ng isang bagay kung mahal, di ba? So, when the markets are already very expensive, it will cycle again back to going down. And then, once nagmura na naman, usually umaakyat na naman yan. Itong second line na nakikita niya, during a cycle, some securities or assets classes outperform others because their business models aligned with conditions for growth. Very good example po nito is ganito ha. Di ba ngayon may COVID? Halos lahat ng businesses bumagsak. Right? Si Jollibee, yung business model niya, kainan, yung mga tao na nagpupuntang mall, kumakain ng Jollibee, yun yung business model niya. But because of COVID, sensya na Bisaya eh. But because of COVID, But because of COVID, wala na po nakakapunta ng mall. So, technically, it will follow si Jollibee walang kinikita ngayon. And Jollibee has been dropping ever since. But there are businesses that will thrive in this kind of condition also. Especially sa international market. Kasi, kahit bagsak ngayon, makikita nyo po, may mga businesses na nagtathrive tulad ng grocery stores. Right? So, mga grocery na businesses ngayon, umaakyat, maganda pa rin ang kita nila, right? Even businesses that are not in the stock market, let's say for example sila GrabFood, sila Food Panda, they're earning a lot in this kind of situation because their businesses are more adapted, right? Their business model is more aligned to the conditions for the growth. Okay? But then again, the overall market umaakyat po yan, bumababa. May market cycle po tayo. Okay, so let me go to this diagram right here. So this is basically how you look at market cycle. There are this level right here. Let me just line it out with the green. Okay, so may optimism level. Ito yung parang level na makikita natin na medyo okay na ang market, 'di ba? So, whenever nakikita natin, again, market discounts everything. So, pag nagpupunta sa level na yan ang market, that means maganda na ang takbo ng market. And then, because of the optimism, usually umaakyat ang galaw ng market. Kasi kung walang optimism, hindi aabot yung market prices dyan. Magsisimula yan sa baba kasi. Right? If the markets go up, optimism starts. This is the market cycle. And then there's the excitement, umaakyat po yan. After euphoria, sobrang happy na ng mga tao na nag-invest. It starts to go down. There will be a denial phase na okay pa naman siguro ang market. Then there's the fear phase, there's the panic phase, and then there's the depression. Ito yung mga depression or recession na nakikita ninyo. Right? It happens, it will arrive to that level. And then after that, because the prices are very low, the risks are very low, and opportunities are very high during this level, which is where we are right now. Right? We are at a recession level, napakababa ng market natin. Okay? So, this is where we are right now. And then after this, pag maganda na yung takbo ni COVID, hope will start again. And then we will be rising to optimism levels again. And then it will go up again, and then in the future, babagsak na naman yan. Remember lang, sa taas, mababa na yung mga opportunities, konti na lang yung opportunities, and the risks are high already kasi mahal na ng presyo. So you don't ever go into those levels. Right? So ang ganda ng position natin ngayon. Okay. So trends, I want to talk about trends. First, trend is the movement of the market. Again, may tatlong trends, up, down, and sideways. Okay? Factor, before I go deep dive into to trends, I want to talk about the factors that affect stock prices first. Okay? Dalawa po yan. I group this into two. Basically, ito yung parang major reasons why a market will move. A stock price will move. Number one is company performance. Maganda ba yung performance ng company? If the company performs well, umaakit yung prices nila, basically, pwede pong umakyat. Or pwede ring bumaba kung pangit yung performance ng company. Okay? So, isa yan sa rason bakit gumagalaw ang stock prices. The second reason is market sentiments. This is the broader one kasi maraming factors ang market sentiments. I want to talk about that. Ito yung number one, demand and supply. Okay? So, for example, napakamahal na ng presyo niya. So, sobrang baba na ng demand. Kasi pag mahal ng presyo ng isang stock, no one wants to buy it. And then when there's no one buying it, the supply becomes very high. For example, I'm a holder of this stock. Right? Gusto ko ibenta at this price right here. Wala gustong bumili. Ang dami namin gusto magbenta at around that price. What will I do para mabenta ko yung stock ko? Ibebenta ko ng mas mura. Right? Because the supply is very high, hindi mo mabebenta ang stock mo. Your only hope to sell it out is to lower the prices. So, ibebenta mo yan ng mas mura and magpapamurahan na ang mga tao, and then that's why the prices go down. Right? Supply and demand. Number 2 is interest rates. I won't go deep dive into that because that's a definitely a different discussion right there. But that's something that also affects the market. Investors, right? So, mga investors pumapasok or lumalabas. Philippine Stock Exchange is greatly affected by foreign investors. But because of the fears right now, wala pong investors na pumapasok. And when there is no buyers, the demand is low, prices go down, right? Dividends also, because maraming investors, because of dividends, it can affect the movement of a stock. Pag maganda yung dividends na binibigay ng isang stock, ng isang company, usually in demand siya, umakit yung presyo niya, kung pangit, bumabagsak. Management, yan, maganda ba yung management niya? The economy can also affect the movement of the stock. It's still part of the market sentiments. And then political climate, I want to talk about this because this is what is happening in the country right now. Wala pong ganong investors because, especially foreign investors, takot sila because President Duterte is has a very strong will against companies, especially mga abuso ng mga large companies. That's why investors are afraid to put in money into companies. So, this also can affect prices. Kaya po bumabagsak ang presyo ng isang stock. ABS-CBN, for example, sila Meralco, yan. So, maraming stocks ang bumabagsak because of that. Pag maganda yung political climate, umaakit din naman kagad sila. Right? So, yes, those are things that can affect the prices of a stock. Let's go to trend trading. Right? Market, again, has 3 directions. Up, down, and sideways. Okay? So, on the diagram right here, the chart that you're seeing right now, can you try to pick out saan yung sideways, saan yung uptrend, saan yung downwards? Right? So, okay, on your own lang. You can do it on your own. So, basically, this is how it looks like. This area right here that I'm highlighting right now, this is the sideways na area. Okay? We have the uptrend right here kasi yung presyo from the lower parts, paakyat po siya. It's called an uptrend. Then, the movement at this level is pababa naman yung presyo, that's the downtrend. This is the cycle right here. Sa accumulation, ito yung paakyat, and then ito yung pag-sell off niya, pababa, and then magsisimula na naman umakyat. That's the trend. So, upwards, downwards, and sideways. And before we go to trends, I want to discuss about support and resistance. First, because this is very important, this is the building block of a trend. So I want you to understand what support and resistance is. Support is a level where stock prices rally or go up whenever it is hit. Right? Basically, ito yung presyo na kung saan makikita mo sa chart na pag na-hit yung presyo na yan, umaakyat yung prices. Okay? For example, kanina, I showed you a stock price of BDO. Right. Let me show it to you really quick. Right. So, okay. So, look at this area of BDO right here. Okay. Itong presyo na ito. Right. Let me change the color to yellow. Yan. So, around this area, dito nag-start umakyat si BDO. And look at this right here. When that price was hit, after the downtrend, when the price was hit, nagsisimula na naman umakyat si BDO. This area right here is called a support. So I want to further make an illustration about it. I want to draw it to you guys. Let's go here. Okay, so I just want to illustrate the market price movement as a line. Okay, so when this price is hit, the price starts to go up, and when it is hit again, prices starts to go up again. This is called a support. Meaning this area tells you that the price at this area, let's say for example, this is 10 pesos. 10 pesos, the market decided that it is already a very cheap price, and then whenever that price is hit, may mga bumibili. Okay? For example, ako, ay mahal pa let's say this area is 12 pesos. Ay mahal pa si BDO, nasa 12 pesos pa siya. So ayoko bumili diyan. Antayin ko muna pumunta ulit sa mura na price. Ano ba yung mura na price? Before sa G's or sa 10 siya umakyat. So I want to wait for it again at around 10 pesos bago ako bumili ulit. And usually it will give that to you. Okay? But my point is, this is your price. That is a support. Okay? That's a support. Now, ano naman ang resistance? Resistance is opposite naman. Right? Whenever, let's say kanina, example natin is 12 pesos. Right? Umakyat na naman siya at around 12 pesos ulit kasi medyo mahal na siya, prices starts to go down again. So, it's a market pattern also wherein it will tell you na yung supply and demand at around 12 pesos, bumabagsak na yung demand. Kasi mahal na siya. So, the chart is telling you na 12 pesos is mahal na. Basically, don't buy at around this area. Antayin mo ulit na bumaba siya sa support because this is the cheap price. Diyan kayo na area na yan. No need to specifically buy at that area kasi usually ang dami nang bumibili dyan sa area na yan. But around that area, 10 pesos, 10.1, 10.2, that's the support area. That is where you should be starting to buy. Right? Resistance, kung saan nagsisimulang bumagsak ang presyo kasi mahal na. Support is the area where prices starts to bounce and go up because that area right there is considered by the market to be cheap. And when I say market, yung mga tao na nasa loob ng market. So, let me go back to the slide. That's support and resistance. Resistance is the level where stock prices starts going down whenever it is hit. The market thinks that the price is too high and so selling usually starts there. Uy, mahal na ang ano ko. 'Di ba? Buy low, sell high. Right? Buy cheap, sell expensive. Right? So you buy it at the support where it is cheap and sell it where it is expensive, which is the resistance. Okay. Now, support and resistance doesn't only happen on a sideways basis. Hindi lang po siya nasa 10 pesos lagi. Pwedeng umakyat ang support. Okay? So this is where the trend starts. The building block of a trend is support and resistance. Support, prices underneath the market, resistance. So yung sideways na example ko sa inyo kanina, this is what it is showing. The support is going sideways, the resistance is going sideways. There are instances that the support starts to go up and the resistance also trends up. This is now the trend that we are talking about. Ito na yung trend na nangyayari. Trade idea, buy near support and sell close to resistance. So, I want to explain to you what are the parts of a trend. Okay? Of a price action, what I mean. Okay? So, price action, ganito po yan. Okay. So, price action, meron tayong low. This is the lowest point where this the current price action is happening. Right? Let me just illustrate that again. So, this is the low. So, lowest point ng price action kung saan napunta yung presyo and umaakyat po siya. From the low going up, this is called the swing high. Okay? Paakyat na swing niya. And at the peak of that swing, if it starts to go down, this area right here is the high. Okay? High points yan. So, low and high. Okay? And then, bababa na naman yan to the low level. This action naman na pababa is called the swing low. Okay. So, these are the parts of price action. The highs, the lows, the swing low, and the swing high. Okay? So, yung low niya, if ever yung low niya or yung supports niya is on a sideways movement, that means the trend is going sideways. Okay? Now, this can happen also to a stock kung saan yung low niya. Okay. So, this will happen to a stock also. Okay? Yung low points are going up. Yung high points are going up also. So, higher lows, wrong spelling, higher lows, and highs are going higher also, higher highs. So yung support niya paakyat, yung resistances niya paakyat rin, then we are now seeing a uptrend, an uptrend. Okay? So that is where we yun yung yun yung parang definition natin how to spot an uptrend or a sideways trend. If the trend is already showing us higher lows and giving us higher highs, we are on an uptrend. And basically, on the opposite side, if the lows are getting lower, so meaning lower lows, so basically this low is lower than the previous low, and we are also seeing lower highs, right? So mas mababa na yung high natin. So this high is lower than the previous high. So now we are looking at a downtrend. Okay? So that's how we spot trends. And we can spot that on charts. Here, pinakita kong chart sa inyo kanina. Right here. Here are the lows. Let me just mark the lows. So these are the low points, and then look at that. Yung lows niya sideways. So we are looking at a sideways trend. And this trend naman, let's go green. Look at the lows right there. So the lows are going high. The highs are going high also, higher highs. We are on an uptrend. In this case, lows are going down. The highs are going down also. We are looking at a downtrend. Okay? So, that is how you spot a trend. Very important. So, again, this can happen. There is an uptrend. There's a sideways trend. And then there is a downtrend. Okay? Very important. How to spot the trend? I already told you this. Nauna na ako. So, timing. So, when we're talking about timing, don't go ahead of a trend line. Okay? So, stick close to it. So, paano ba natin makikita yung trend line? Okay, so I wanna illustrate that also. No, not this one. Sorry. Ito yung problema sa sobrang high-tech. So, how do you spot the trend? Okay? Basically, you just look at the lows and the highs, di ba? So, the supports is what we call the trend line. And you basically want to buy on the trend lines. Okay? Never go ahead of a trend. Meaning, huwag kayong lalayo sa trend line. Because if you buy here ahead of the trend, it will go back to its original trend and basically you're losing money. The problem there is hindi natin alam kung magko-continue pa yung uptrend niya. Okay? So what if you buy here, uptrend pa naman. What if hindi na siya mag-uptrend? Which brings me to my next point. Again, don't go ahead of the trend. Alright. Okay, so ito, walang forever. Trends do not last forever. Okay? So, pwede pong mag-uptrend tayo dito. But, di porket uptrend yan, magpapatuloy yung uptrend niya. Trends can also stop. Okay? So, basically, you enter on the trend lines. Again, yung support niya is our trend line. And then, if ever the trend stops, you sell your stock kasi magda-downtrend yan at hindi natin alam saan yung hangganan ng downtrend niya. So, yan. Walang forever. And I want to talk about this really quick. There's a rule of thumb, right? I want to talk about consolidation and correction. So, you'll understand about this more. There's a rule of thumb. It takes time for to move a price to a certain distance, right? It will take time for prices to reach a certain point. For example, ito yung parang maximum niya, 20 pesos. We're still at 10 pesos. Hindi po didiretso yan one time to 20 pesos. Right? Maggagawa pa yan ng trend niya hanggang umabot ng 20 pesos, maybe 20 pesos siya mag-start. Right? This is just for example. But the point is, hindi po didiretso yan. It will create a trend. Okay? So, yan. If ever there is a exaggeration of the movement, okay? What if mag-exaggerate yung movement niya from 10 to 20, what if mag-exaggerate siya dito hanggang 15 pesos? Right? That's an exaggerated move because the trend is right here. Okay? This right here is the trend. Going back to the any exaggeration must be paid for by an acceleration, by a correction in time or price. It's either oras or presyo ang co-correction niya. Okay? So, it can go sideways and go back to its original trend. This is using time for the correction, or presyo. Babalik siya sa trend niya. And it's gonna do a pullback and go back to its original trend para mag-travel na naman. Again, any exaggeration is gonna be corrected either by time, which is called a consolidation, meaning matutulog mo na ang presyo niya until na it will start its trend again, or by price, which is correction in price. It's gonna do a pullback and go back to its original trend before it goes to its intended price. So you have to consider that also. That's why we always wait for the trend to go back to its support, yung uptrend support niya, before we wanna go in. Okay? So, what time is it? It's already 8:57. So, basically, this is what is, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Ito yung trend niya. Look at this. This is an exaggeration in price. So, ang ginawa niya, nag-sideways muna, it's consolidated before it went back to its original trend. Another exaggeration of movement here, but this time, hindi siya nag-consolidate. Ang ginawa niya, it did a pullback. It's a correction of price. So, nag-pullback siya bago magsimula ulit sa trend niya. So, this is from MRP. It's a stock in PSE that you can consider also. Okay, so, same here, NRCP. Saan yung trend line niya? Ayan. Okay, so, trend, pullback. This is where you buy. Exaggerated movement, nag-correction. Exaggerated movement, nag-correction, and nagsisimula na naman siya on its trend line. Okay, so, yan yung trend line niya. Yan. So, I have a little activity right here. Basically, we are on a support. Bibilisan ko na lang to. This is supposed to be an activity, and I usually, on my seminars for stock market trading, I ask the audience to answer yes, buy, or no. Right? So, we have a sideways trend right here, and we have a bounce right here, and tumaas na siya. I always ask them, buy ba ito or hindi? I would say no, because mataas na yon, di ba? Nakataas na. The support is right here. Dapat dito tayo bumili. So, now it's consolidating, and now we already have, we have a view of a trend line right here, possible trend line niya. So, considering if trend line na ito, is it a buy? Yes or no? You can answer on your own. 2 seconds. I would say yes. If this is a trend line, tama tayo, and then look at that. Okay? Now, ito yung position niya. Is this a buy? Yes or no? Do you buy here? Yes or no? I would say no. Resistance, di ba? Possible resistance dyan. So, if you said no, good answer, because nag-correction siya. Again, exaggerated movement is gonna be corrected. Okay? And there's the correction right there. So, here, from this point, is it a buy? Yes or no? Possible, because we're near supports. And if bumili kayo dyan, look at that. After the correction, bumalik na siya. Now, the question, will you buy here? Yes or no? 2 seconds. No. Malayo ka na sa trend line. Again, do not go ahead of the trend line. Antayin yung bumalik. If you answered no, good answer. Kasi kung bumili kayo dito, you just lost money. Diba? So, because you did not buy there, you waited for it to do a pullback. Ngayon, malapit na tayo sa trend line. The question is, do you buy here? Yes or no? 2 seconds. If you say yes, then look at that. Right there. So, we have a clear uptrend. We have a good position for an entry. If you entered there, congratulations sa gains mo. Okay? Now, at this area, is this a buy? Yes or no? 2 seconds. That's a no. Why? We are already ahead of the support, and look at that. Kung bumili kayo dyan, you would have lost money. And hindi natin alam, baka tapos na yung trend, mataas na yung akyat niya, di ba? Sobrang mahal na yan. But then again, we are near the support, probably is a buy. Is it a buy? Yes or no? Yan. So, if you bought here, then good. meron tayong possible na positions pa rin. But, there it is. Umakyat na naman. Okay? But, my point here is, nag-level up kayo sa trading nyo. Right? This is basically trend trading for good companies. Pwede kayong bumili doon sa supports, especially in a stock that has an overall uptrend. Just write the trend line. Right? So here, meron tayong linya na break na niya yung trend line niya. Is this a buy? Yes or no? I would say no na, because walang forever yung trend. If ever, ayan, tapos na yung trend niya, nag-sideways na. Swerte natin, nag-sideways yung next na trend niya. What if nag-downtrend? Hindi natin alam. No one can predict the market. So, there it is. Nag-level up kayo just using trend line. Okay, now, this part is for, kay Kristine. But before we go to Kristine, the second part of the webinar, let me check the comments. Ayan, may mga answers na yes or no. Ayan, ang galing. Good job, guys. Nag-level up na kayo through this webinar also pa lang. First part pa lang ito, nag-level up na kayo. Thank you so much for participating. Ayan. Let me see if there are questions. Thanks for this. Solid educators. Ayan. So, wala namang questions so far. That means clear naman natin pagka-explain. Let's move forward. Pasensya na if medyo gulo yung slideshow ni Kristine. But yeah, we'll go ahead to Kristine first. Go, Kristine.
Hello. Okay. So, from the presentation of Lloyd, we are able to identify the following. So, yung support and resistance, the trend following, the candlestick. So, market cycles, etc. So, for this part, we're gonna look at some common area patterns, and then we're gonna look at some basic indicators. So, first, we're gonna look at area patterns. So, basically, sa area patterns, we're looking at the price chart. So, we use the price chart to examine the current movements. Tapos, ginagamit rin natin siya to forecast future movements. Kasi nga, nabanggit ko kanina, history repeats itself. So, this has happened in the past, and then we can use that information para ma-predict natin kung ano yung pwedeng mangyari sa price chart, sa current movement sa price chart. So, may dalawa. We have the reversal pattern, and then we have the continuation pattern. So, from the name itself, pag sinabi mong reversal pattern, meron kang current na trend, and then magre-reverse siya when you see this particular area pattern. And then for the continuation pattern naman, you have a current trend, and then you will have a brief pause. It could be a form of correction. It could also be a form of a pullback. And then, magpo-proceed siya sa current niyang direction. So, kaya nag-continue lang. So, ngayon, we'll look at the next slide for the major reversal pattern. So, ito yung mga characteristics that you can look at for a major reversal pattern. So, next slide. So, una, there must be a prior trend. So, it could either be an uptrend or a downtrend. The second, breaking of an important trend line is the first signal. So, once ma-break yung trend line na yon, especially kapag hinug na yung trend mo, yun ang sign mo na pwede ka nang magtingin ng possible area patterns. Volume must be significant during breakout or breakdown. So, pag mataas yung volume mo, ibig sabihin malaki yung participation in the trading. Also, the larger the pattern, the greater is the subsequent move. So, ibig sabihin, mas mahabang time frame yung tinitingnan mo for the pattern, yung movement niyan, mas bongga. And then, topping patterns are typical shorter in direction and more volatile than bottom pattern. So, ang difference ng topping pattern sa bottom pattern, topping pattern, it happens after your uptrend. So, nandun siya sa taas. So, pag bottom pattern naman, it happens after the downtrend. So, nandun naman siya sa baba. So, ibig sabihin, pag topping patterns, shorter yung duration niya, tsaka more volatile. Tapos, kapag bottom patterns naman, smaller yung price ranges niya at take longer time to build. So, yun yung may mga tinatawag na nagko-consolidate pa yung price before you have a breakout. So sa next slide, we're gonna look at one of the area patterns, so head and shoulders. So hindi ito yung shampoo. So ano siya, basically it's a pattern that consists of a head. So yun yung sa center, and then you have shoulders on the left and the right. So ang important dito, you also have what you call the neckline. So dun sa presentation ni Lloyd, na-mention niya is yung about sa support and resistance. So this forms as the support for your head and shoulders. So it can form na parang perfect, yung parang straight line na neckline, but it can also be diagonal. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So may spot mo siya from your price chart, whether it is a diagonal or it's straight. So basically, yung nangyayari dyan, meron kang area of support, tapos pag na-form mo yung left shoulder mo, and then when it forms the head, it goes higher in price, but then yung pagbaba niya sa correction, it will hit the neckline again. So parang mas malalim. And then you will have another rally here to form the pixie, which is the right shoulder. And then after nyan, magkakaroon ka na ng breakdown ng price. So another important thing is that meron kang volume changes. So di ba yung kanina yung volume, mataas yung participation sa trading. So mapansin nyo, mataas yung volume at the formation of the peaks. Okay? So, punta tayo sa next slide, wherein you can see an example of a head and shoulder formation. So, mapansin nyo, it doesn't have to be perfect kasi, di ba, this one parang may resistance instead of a peak. But you will see na we have the right and left shoulders, and then you have the head. So, anong information yung makukuha mo dito sa area pattern na to? So, if you take the distance between the peak nung head and then the neckline, which is the support, you can translate that to the dito sa right side to determine the projected decline. So, ibig sabihin, when you are looking at the price chart dito sa malapit na siya mag-breakdown, you can actually predict kung ano yung level kung saan siya magde-decline. So, yun. So, let's look at the next slide. So, we also have an inverted head and shoulders. Excuse. So, sa inverted head and shoulders, reverse lang siya nung head and shoulders. This is typically found at the bottom. So, bottom pattern siya. So, ibig sabihin, nag-occur siya after a downtrend. So, ganun din. Pero instead of a peak, you have a through or bottom. So, your bottom is the letter B, and then your left and your right bottoms are your shoulders. So, similar din yung principle. You can see here an increase in volume at the formation of the peaks. And then, when it is about to break out, mataas din ang volume niya kasi mataas nga yung participation of the market.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, Kristine.
Okay.
Mag-input lang ako sir. We didn't talk about volume earlier. Basically, ang volume is the amount of trades happening during that point, right? High volume means maraming trades, maraming buy and sell during that point. Low volume means maliit ang buy and sell during that point. And if we look at charts right here, merong dito sa baba, you can see the volume, right? There are certain points na, like this one right here. Let me just erase everything. Sorry. Let me just erase this. Look at this. I want to focus on this one right here. So, this green right here, makikita niyo po yung volume ito. So, among the others na napakalit ng volume, may significant volume at this point. And then, mababa na naman ang volume or similar volume during those points. So, basically, there's a volume spike during this point. Ito yung parang indicator niyo of a volume. Okay? So, sa sinasabi ni Kristine kanina, Alright, let me go back to the iPad. Ako na yung nag-ooperate. So, etong part na ito is the volume, and during these points where the heads heads and shoulders are happening, let me just turn that into red. So, during the shoulders, there's a volume spike. During the head, there's a volume spike. During the shoulder again, there's a volume spike. Right? So, volume is also an indicator to back you up when you're looking at patterns na head and shoulder. Okay? You have to consider the volume also, not just the formation. Go ahead, Kristine.
All right, thank you for that. So, um, so let's go to the next slide. So, yeah, in the next slide, you will see an example of an inverted head and shoulders. So, you have here the bottom at the center, and then in the left and the right for the other bottoms for the shoulder. And then, same thing, yun. So, nasabi nga ni Lloyd, so we have large volumes here. Yeah. And then, for you to be able to determine kung hanggang saan yung projected mo na increase in price, you can use the distance between your resistance. So your neckline, kasi kanina di ba yung neckline is the support, pero pag inverted head and shoulders, your neckline is the resistance. So you can measure this distance from your resistance line, yun yung pwede mong target price because yun yung projected mo na pagtaas ng price, once this resistance line is overcome by your price action. So, dito sa side na to, mangyayari yung breakout. Okay? So, let's move to the next slide. So, I have here some more common area patterns. So, we have the cup and handle. Yung cup and handle naman, it's a bottom area pattern. So, basically, parang meron ka lang ring two peaks. So, yun yung formation mo of the sides of the cup. So, one at the left and one at the right. And then, doon, matataas yung volume. Pero once mo form yung parang rounded na bottom, you have a decrease in volume. Yan. And then, for you to form the handle, there is a pullback. Yan. On the price. So, pag pullback, ibig sabihin parang may correction, bababa ng slightly. There's a slight decline in your price. And then, you will connect the two peaks on the left and the right, makaka-form ka ng resistance. So, parang nilagyan mo ng takip yung cup. And then, this resistance level is eventually overcome by the price action, forming a breakout. So, let's look at an example on the next slide so that we can illustrate it better. So, dito sa next slide ng Globe Telecom, so you have here the left and the right side wherein we connected it with the resistance line. Tapos, meron ka ring rounded. So, it doesn't have to be perfect. Di mo kailangan maghanap ng sobrang rounded na cup. And then, you have here correction ng price. So, if you connect the lows and then you connect the highs, you will have a parang channel as a channel wherein you can check kapag meron yung price action mo is break niya yung resistance doon sa handle, that would be an area where you can actually buy kasi magko-continue na ulit yung uptrend. Okay, so ngayon meron pang on the next slide we have another example of an area pattern which is a wedge. So wedge is triangle lang siya. So meron tayong dalawang types of wedge. So one is a falling wedge and the other one is a rising wedge. Sa falling wedge, consists siya ng descending trend line. So kapag kinonect mo yung lows, tapos kinonect mo yung highs, makaka-form ka ng parang intersection sa kanila. So, tawag doon apex. So, makaka-form ka ng triangle. So, this usually, you can usually spot this during a previous uptrend. So, ito yung tinatawag na continuation pattern kasi pag nakita mo to, magko-continue lang uli yung uptrend mo. So, kung mapansin mo, the volume is high before you form the wedge. and it is also high doon sa breakout point. And then, there is a decline in volume doon sa center. So, doon sa na-form mo na triangle in the middle of it, mababa yung volume. Okay. So, let's look at the other one, which is a rising wedge. Ito namang rising wedge, nag-occur naman siya after a previous downtrend. So, ganun din, pag kinonect mo naman yung the highs and the lows, you will form a triangle. But this time, ang itsura niya pataas. So, ascending triangle yung itsura niya. So, once ma-overcome nung price action yung level of support mo, doon ka magkakaroon ng breakdown at itutuloy niya lang naman yung downtrend. So, similar lang rin yung sa volume. Kung mapansin nyo, may pattern, di ba? Parang kapag when you have a downtrend, mataas yung volume niya. Pero when you have this kinds of consolidation and correction, mababa yung volume. And then once mag-occur na yung breakout or breakdown, mataas na yung volume. So, yun yung importance din ng volume when you look at the price chart. So, they always come together kasi the information that you get from them tells you something about the participation of the people in the trading. Okay, so yung next slide, ito yung example lang so that you can see it in an actual price chart. So, this is a falling wedge. So, it comes after an previous uptrend. So, yun. Nagkaroon ng breakout at this point and then nagtuloy yung uptrend. Okay. So, next slide, time check, 9:18. Okay. So, meron tayong titingnan na tatlong basic technical analysis indicator. So, I'll go through it fast. Basically, ang i-discuss lang natin sa no-nonsense discussion, ano ba yung technical analysis na yon, anong information yung makukuha mo, tsaka how you can use them. So, next slide, we have the definition of a moving average. So, basically, moving average lang siya ng historical closing prices in a particular time period. So, paano ba malalaman yung closing price? Lloyd discussed earlier, naalala niyo yung candlestick. So, doon sa candlestick, malalaman mo yung closing price niya. So, for example, when you look at a 9-day moving average, that's the average of the historical closing prices nung 9-day period na yon. So, usually, ang mga technical analysts, they combine short-term and long-term MAs to apply the moving average in their charts. So, doon nila na-identify yung position for entry, position for exit. It could also be areas of support and resistance. And it could also be pag-identify ng kung meron ka bang trending price action or not. So, next slide. So, ito, what information can moving average give you? So, nag-identify lang ako ng dalawa for the purpose of this discussion. Limited time. So, yun lang identifying trends and it allows you to position for entry and exit. So sa next slide, this is an example of MA as a trend identifier. So there's actually two ways for you to use the moving average para mahalaman mo kung may trending price action ka ba o hindi. Yung isa, gamit mo yung 50-day moving average. So pag naka-angle up, yung 50-day moving average mo, may uptrend ka. Pag naka-angle down, may downtrend ka. Another ways for you to use 3 different moving averages. So, isang short term, isang medium term, tsaka isang long term. So, for the purpose of this chart, meron kang 21-day MA, 50-day MA, tsaka 200-day MA. So, kapag arrange siya properly meaning yung long term nasa baba, medium nasa taas, above it, and then yung pinakataas mo yung short term, meron kang trend kapag perfectly arranged siya. Conversely, kapag naman downtrend ka, nasa taas naman yung long term mo, tapos medium term next, and then yung bottom mo naman yung short term moving average. Tapos, pwede mo rin naman malaman kung meron kang sideways movement kapag parang spaghetti, di ba? Pag spaghetti medyo
buhol-buhol.
Buhol-buhol, yan. Perfect term. So, kapag buhol-buhol sa meaning, hindi sila arranged that way na long term sa baba, medium sa gitna, tas short term sa baba. Yun, meron ka dong sideways movement. So, sa next slide, ito naman, MA to identify position for entry and exit. So, yan yung mga gusto natin kasi malalaman mo yung position mo for entry. So, meron tayong tinatawag na bullish crossover tsaka bearish crossover. So, pag sabi mo bullish crossover, ito yung good position for entry kasi ang ibig sabihin nito, your price action will start to go to an uptrend. So, paano mo malalaman yung crossover? So, mangyayari yung crossover kapag meron kang shorter term MA that crosses above a longer term MA. So, dapat may makakita ka ng crossover. Ngayon, sa kabaliktaran niya naman yung bearish crossover, ito naman, kapag nakita mo to, mag-i-start na siyang mag-downtrend. So, ito naman, kapag yung longer term MA mo crosses above your shorter term MA. So, nagkakaroon ka ng bearish crossover. Other technical analysts called it a death golden cross for the bullish crossover tsaka death cross kapag bearish crossover. But those are just terms. Ang mahalaga, alam mo kung paano i-spot yung mga crossovers. So, dito, naglagay lang tayo information na if you're going for a longer term position, so kung position trader ka, ganyan, you can use trailing stop until you see this point for exit. So, trailing stop, so we will discuss it further siguro sa mga next webinar. Pero basically, what happens is that you set a stop loss and then kapag hindi na-overcome nung price action mo, halimbawa, hindi niya nahihit yung stop loss mo, you move your stop loss until you see the bearish crossover or wherever is kung saan ka magkakaroon na indication na, kailangan ko na tong ibenta. Another way is for you to set a target percentage profit. So, halimbawa, ang target profit mo nasa 8%, you can also do that. Yun. So, eto, you can choose what moving average you will use depende sa trading plan mo. So, pwedeng 100-day MA and 200-day. So, these are just recommendations. Actually, you can use all numbers for, pwede mo siyang maset according to your preference, according to your trading plan. So, you can also have a 50-day MA and a 100-day MA for medium term, a 20-day MA and a 50-day MA for short term. So, isang important pala na aspect ng moving average that I really need to mention, kapag short term, yung moving average mo, mas wiggly siya. Parang kulot yan, parang kulot. Yan. Pero kapag longer term, yung moving average mo, mas smooth siya. So, siguro, rebonded hair, ganyan. Ang important doon, when you use two different shorter term MA, mas marami kang crossovers. So, I can show that to you in the next slide. Tapos kapag naman longer term, yung pinili mo na two moving average, mas konti yung crossovers mo. So, on the next slide, we will look at crossover between 20-day and 50-day. So, this is just an example for you to see lang kung ano ba yung ma-expect mo with the crossover. So, dito sa at around 1,600 pesos, your shorter term MA crosses over your longer term. So, kung mapansin nyo, mas wiggly siya as compared to a longer term na smoother. And then, at around 2,100 pesos, you have another crossover which marks na your bearish crossover. So, this is the point na pwedeng mag-start na siya mag-downtrend. Okay? So, sa next slide natin, ito naman yung longer term. So, 100-day MA and 200-day MA. So, mapansin nyo, at 212 pesos, meron kang bullish crossover. And then, after several months, so kung mapansin nyo, July, September, March, at around May, doon ka lang nagkaroon ng another bearish crossover. Unlike doon sa kanina, na it's a couple of weeks nung magkaroon ka ng crossover. So, yun. Sa next slide. So we'll move na sa second. If meron kayong questions about moving average and area patterns pala, you can comment so that we can address
We have
them
a question here
later.
from James Green. When shorter MA crosses above longer MA, bullish po ba yun? So just clarification na question ito.
Yes, kapag mas mataas, yung shorter MA mo, yung nasa taas ng longer MA, that's a bullish crossover.
Alright.
Okay. Alright.
What if the
So,
price is above MA 50, 100, and 200? Possible po ba na lilipad ang price? So crossover ito? What if the price is above MA 50, 100, and 200? Yes, most probably that is bullish already kasi nasa taas yan ng tatlong MAs mo.
nasa taas siya ng dalawang.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sige. So, I'll move on to, so time check, 9:27. I'll move on to MACD. So, MACD yung tawag nila. So, ito parang ano lang siya, derivatives sa math term ng isang moving average. So, basically sa MACD, mas marami ka lang linya. So, sa MACD, so makikita mo siya sa chart with the blue color. Line shows the visual representation of the calculation of 12-day EMA and 26-day EMA. So, difference kasi siya ng dalawang EMA. So, kung ano yung EMA? Kasi may dalawang klase ng moving average. Isang simple moving average, which is just the simple average of the closing price. And then the EMA, exponential yung moving average niya. So, yon sa MACD, it's a difference of 2 EMAs. So, itong nakalagay dito, this is the default. 12-day and 26-day EMA are the default. Pero you can actually change it. There are some technical analysis books that actually use a different values for it, especially kapag position trader ka, para mas konti yung crossovers na nakikita mo. And then you also have the signal line. So, dalawang linya sila, isang MACD line, signal line. The signal line is red in color naman. This is, signal line is the 9-day EMA that helps to identify crossover. And then you also have the histogram. So, yung histogram, ang pinapakita niya lang naman is, it comes together with the MACD and the signal line. Sinisignal niya lang kung bullish or bearish yung movement ng price action. So, punta tayo. What information can MACD give you? So, for the MACD line, when MACD line is above the 0, 0 level, so, unlike pala moving average na naka-overlay siya sa price chart, MACD nasa baba. So, may sarili siyang chart na may 0 line, may histogram. Doon sa example natin kanina sa slide, may 0 line, may histogram, tapos may 2 lines, which is the MACD line and the signal line. Meron din siyang crossover. So, sa crossover, when the MACD line crosses above the signal line, the crossover is bullish. Kapag reverse naman, na yung MACD line naman yung umilalim doon sa signal line, nagkakaroon ka ng bearish crossover. For the histogram, similar to
Kristine, let me try to illustrate that. Try ko i-open yung chart para mas makita nila. Dito, settings. So, 1226. Try to kapalan ko yung linya. For the histogram, for the signal. Right. So, ayan. Okay. So, basically, this is what the MACD looks like. The blue line is the EMA, and the red line is the signal. So, Kristine, ano nga pa ibig sabihin pag nasa taas ang blue?
Pag nasa taas ang blue, which is the MACD line, it is bullish. So, pag may crossover sila. Tapos, kapag naman nasa ilalim nung blue, yung red, diba? Nasa itaas yung red, tapos yung blue yung nasa ilalim. Bearish siya.
Alright. So, bullish, bearish meaning bullish, paakyat yung stocks, bearish, pababa ang stocks. So, pag nasa baba ang pula,
Pag nasa baba yung pula, ibig sabihin bullish siya.
Ayan. So,
Pag
possible
nasa
pwede siyang
taas ang
umakyat.
pula, yeah.
Alright,
Pag nasa
so,
taas yung pula, bababa siya.
using this example right here, so nakikita nyo on the screen right now, nasa taas yung pula kaysa sa blue, bumabagsak siya. Right. In this case naman, yung nag-crossover siya dito, and then the blue is now above, so bullish siya, pwede siya umakyat, and there it is umakyat. Pero hindi gaanong nag-sustain since bearish naman yung overall market. But this is basically how we look at things in MACD. Sige, Kristine, go ahead, please continue.
Thank you for that, for the illustration. So, how you can use them. So, basically, sa next slide, buy on confirmation of bullish crossover and positive histogram value, and sell on confirmation of bearish crossover and negative histogram value. So, dito sa chart na to, I'm not sure if it's clear to you. Pag pinapakita lang natin, illustrate natin na sa bullish crossover, you can buy. And then for the bearish crossover, you can sell. So, we have here, kung mapansin nyo, several yung signals na binigay na bullish at saka bearish crossover. So, it's good if for swing traders. Pero kapag if you're a position trader na longer term yung you want to position yourself na longer term, you can actually change the values to a higher level na sa MACD.
We have a question from James Green. How to spot a bullish reversal using MACD, Ma'am Ganda? Kapag galing downtrend yung stocks, paano po makakonfirm na bullish reversal na yung stock using MACD, Ma'am?
So, kapag bullish reversal, ang titingnan mo, tama ba? Ang understanding ko sa bullish reversal is you're coming from an uptrend,
From
tapos
downtrend.
magkakaroon ka ng... okay.
From a downtrend, how do you know if
sa
ever mag-uptrend na siya using MACD?
Okay. So, yun nga, pag meron kang bullish crossover, which is yung MACD line mo, which is the blue line, crosses above your signal line, which is the red line.
Yeah, but to help answer this, James Green, actually, usually magkasama yan eh. What I usually look at is if ever we have a downtrend broken already, pag nasira na yung downtrend and we're seeing consolidation, nagsa-sideways na siya, meron na siyang supports, and then MACD also confirms na parang paakyat na siya, that's basically reversal signal with that. But using MACD alone, kung wala kang titignan ng support and resistances and other trends, it's gonna be challenging. So that's why you use several technical analysis tools at the same time to really confirm a reversal. Alright.
So let's move to the next slide. So meron dito, nilagay ko lang other uses ng divergence. You can use it as a bullish and bearish divergence. So, anong information ba yung ibinibigay nun sa'yo? So, it also answer actually your question about the bullish reversal. When you see a convergence, so ibig sabihin nun, kapag yung price chart mo pababa, pero yung sa MACD chart mo, yung pataas siya. So, kapag lower low, halimbawa sa downtrend, syempre magkakaroon ka ng low, tapos magkakaroon ka ng lower low. Pag ang itsura niya naman sa MACD mo, merong kang higher high, so higher low pala, kasi nasa babae. Ibig sabihin, magkakaroon ka ng possible uptrend. Okay. Tataas yung price action.
Possible reversal. Okay. Yes, this mas direct ito na answer for James Green basically. So, spotting reversals using MACD, you look at divergences. Divergences meaning yung price action is opposite sa MACD yung galaw.
Yeah, opposite yung galaw. Okay. So, ito, last na natitingnan natin sa basic technical indicator is the relative strength index. So, ano bang importance nito? Basically, sinasabi niya kung oversold or overbought yung stock mo. So, pag oversold, ibig sabihin, marami nang nagbenta, mas marami yung sellers. So, ibig sabihin, it's a good position for you to buy kasi nandun siya sa baba. Mababa yung price mo. Ngayon, pag overbought naman siya, maraming bumibili. So, nandun na siya sa um, kumbaga parang it's a good position for you to sell. Tapos, ang isa pang important sa relative strength index, it also tells you, so it's effective kapag non-trending yung stock, pag sideways yung movement. Kasi kapag ginamit mo siya sa isang trending stock, may tendency, for example, your stock is uptrending. So, pwedeng possible na makita mo na consistently nasa overbought region siya. Pag downtrending naman, pwedeng consistently makita mo sa oversold. So, it's important for you to also know kung yung movement ba ng price chart mo is nagsa-sideways lang siya. Kasi it's a good technical indicator for non-trending stocks. So, sa next slide, ito, mas madali siyang maintindihan. So, ang RSI kasi, it consists of a chart na may sarili niyang, so, doon sa previous slide, nakita nyo yung chart sa baba. So, meron siyang values from 0 to 100. So, kapag above 70 yung price, ang state niya is overbought. So, your action, of course, is to sell. Kapag below 30, ang state niya is oversold, your action is to buy. So, yun yung information that it gives us. So, dun sa next slide, how do you use it? You can use it for identifying position for entry and exit. So, ito, yung mga things that you can look at for position for entry and exit. So, una, price movement must be sideways. So, yun yung sinasabi ko na non-trending siya. Price must be in the support area. If the price is bouncing off a significant support at the price range, the trend reversal is more probable. When the RSI oscillation is at 0 to 30, indicating oversold signal, SOR bullish reversal pattern may be observed. And then, if used together with moving average, so ito yung sinasabi natin na you cannot actually use it alone kasi parang kulang yung information that it gives you. So, for this instance, if you use it together with a moving average, for example, a 50-day and a 100-day MA, the bullish crossover on the price chart should be confirmed by the RSI chart pattern. Kasi doon mo malalaman kung nagsisignal na ba siya na oversold siya for you to be able to make an entry to the stock. Ang position for exit niya naman, ganun din, basically the same yung sinasabi niya, except that price must be in the resistance area. So, it's a good position for you to exit. Tapos, i-confirm naman sa'yo ng RSI kung nasa overbought region ka na. Okay? So, the next slide. So, this is actually the last slide for my part. This is just an example for you to see how RSI looks like when you are identifying position for entry and exit. So, what's important for us to see here, meron kang RSI sa baba, tas meron kang areas of support and resistance. And your price chart is moving sideways. So, hindi siya trending, hindi siya pataas, hindi siya pababa. So, here, you see the price action hitting your support level. And then, you have an RSI oversold signal. So, nasa 30 siya. So, you can enter that price and then you wait for the signal na magkaroon ka ng RSI overbought at mahit niya yung resistance mo. So you can actually sell at that point. For this part, nakita natin na tumaas pa siya. Actually, nagkaroon siya ng breakout. It's also possible for you to use your other indicators. Pwede kang maggamit ng moving average. Pwede mo rin siyang i-pair with the MACD for you to check kung tama na ba yung pag-exit ko dito or i-exit ko muna just a portion of my position kasi nga nag-breakout siya. Okay?
Alright. So
Any questions?
may question tayo from Josh Taragua. Ayan. Let me i-close up ko lang sa host para mas makita nyo yung sumasagot sa inyo. Josh Taragua, how to avoid fake outs po? Nag-converge yung 2 MAs pero biglang bumaba at di natuloy ang trend. Alright, so that's the question.
Okay, so yun, fake outs naman talaga, sabi ko nga, technical analysis, hindi naman yan foolproof na indicator sa'yo kung ano yung magiging position mo. So, ang important lang, you follow a trading plan. So, dapat, before you enter the trade, you already have a position for entry, for exit, and for stop loss. And also, when you use an indicator, you use it according to your trading strategy. So, kung gagamit ka ng RSI, you also pair it with the moving average to give you an additional information. And then, you can also use the information given to you by the volume. Yun. So, volume confirms whether you are looking at a possible breakout or a breakdown point doon sa price chart mo. Okay?
Yeah, so may question naman si James Green, maybe I can answer this. Kapag ang price is low, then MACD forms a higher low, meaning it's a bullish reversal na po. Right, so we're talking about divergences. So let me go to, para ma-explain ko ito mas maayos para kay James Green, okay? So, mas maganda ako pag mag-drawing. Yes, that is basically correct, but to illustrate this is the price action right here. And these are the low parts, right? So, mas mababa yung low niya, but if your MACD is creating a higher high, higher low. So, these are the low points of MACD. MACD ito So, if your low points sa MACD is creating a higher low, and then dito sa price pababa naman, that's the divergence we're looking for. So, if ever this happens, there's a high probability, according to MACD, na magre-reversal na. But again, remember, wala pong foolproof na technical analysis. This is just to guide us, help us try to predict the future, pero wala pong 100% sa technical analysis. So, if ever mali, then follow a trading plan. If you're risking only 3% to 5% of your funds, then cut your losses. Right? James Green ulit, is it good to buy where the RSI points up sa 30 or below 30 level, Ma'am Chris? Alright, Chris? When is the rest to buy?
30 and below
30
yung
and
best
below.
for you to buy.
Yeah, me personally, ako is, ang ginagamit ko is sa PSE, since mas marami ang fake out sa PSE when it comes to RSI. I lower my signals to 20 para mas lesser ang fake outs ko when it comes to RSI reading. So, mine is at 80-20 instead of the default na 30-70, because that study is into the international market where volume is very healthy. Excuse me. Dito sa PSE, napakanipis ng volume natin. So, there are higher chances na magmali yung RSI. So, I lower my RSI to 20 so that I can get better signals. Okay, so Arnel. Asan si Arnel? Brother Arnel. Ayan, Kapayaman Arnel. It's your turn.
Yeah. Right, so nag-enjoy ba tayo? I'm sure sobrang na-enjoy yung mga viewers natin ngayon. No? Sobrang solid. Thank you, Lloyd and Kristine, for really giving valuable topics right now. If you are going to see it, especially sa mga viewers natin, sobrang ganda ng mga sharing natin. No? Topics like this, makikita na natin sa mga paid na mga seminars, mga webinars, but what we are doing right now is really for free. So you can invite it, and you can invite your friends, and you can also replay it if you want. You can just go after our live session. You can also replay it if you want to check on other topics that you want to review. So right now, since we are also running out of time na din, I'm just going to wrap up as well on my topics on some things that we need to go through, especially yung mga importante na mga details that we need to check on. So mabilis lang na naman yung ko, just to close as well our session. Just need to ikaw lang naman yung mag-share, Lloyd, no?
Yes, it's already shared.
Okay, so basically, my topic is more of technical analysis in action. I just need to show you some of trading plans that we need to take a look at. By the way, ito yung objectives natin, but mga quick lang na quick na lang na run through that I'll be sharing since we're running out of time. By the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Arnel. I'm a portfolio manager by profession. This is what I do full time. I manage stocks on other people and also on companies. I work with I work with Eastern Securities, part of Philippine Stock Exchange. I also co-founded StocksEd. This is the fastest growing stock market page, and at the same time we have stock market for Pinoy. That's also a Facebook group that you can also join in. And on the sideline, I also do other things aside from trading. Right now. Um, I do mushroom gardening, so that's what I do, just to really just to really do some other things aside from stocks. You can also connect with me. I have there my social media account, my phone number, and my email address as well. I also founded Invest Tambayan. It's also one of the stock market groups that you can join in. Stock market is not really overwhelming. That's why we are here for you. Since the start of August, or since the start of lockdown. Kaya ngayong topic natin ngayon is from lockdown to locking profit, because we know we value the importance of learning. And right now, since we are working from home, most of us, it's also important to really take time to learn as well. So as we can see, this is the new Philippine Stock Exchange that we are trading stocks. As we can see here, this is also inside the Philippine Stock Exchange. So right now, with what I do as well as a portfolio manager, as you can see, this is the portfolio sample that we do. This is a live portfolio sample that I give to my client, a 1 million portfolio that I see. Nakikita nyo dyan, may portfolio allocation na, may investment goal for growth, and also as we can see, divided na siya for blue chips and also for growth. Nakikita nyo uh, with regards on the stocks to invest in, and also stocks that uh, we are going to switch if we need to. So nakikita nyo din on ano yung mga strategies that I'm applying with regards on buying and also selling and also cutting losses. For speculative, my cut loss is really very tight, 2 to 3%. As you can see, may mga buying, it could not be applicable to you because um, di naman lahat di naman lahat applicable. If one strategy would apply to this person, it doesn't automatically say that it will be applicable to you as well. So this is just um, to give you an idea on what is the portfolio allocation looks like. So yun. Basically, I'll be sharing to you, check ko lang yung guide ko ha, para di ako mawala. For example, before sharing to you some actual strategy, um, share ko lang to. I'll be sharing my screen. Ano ko lang ha, playing ko lang yung, okay. Should I be sharing my screen here? Just to, especially sa mga bago natin ngayon, kung nakikita niyo, this is Instagram. This is a free tool that you can use. Kung nakikita niyo dito, this is the stock, just like FGen. So this is the closing price or the current price. Kung open yung market, it means that down siya ng 2.10%. This is down siya ng 50 points or 0.50 cents. Opening price, this is the opening price, 23.7. This is the lowest price of the day. Highest price of the day, trades, ito yung, it doesn't mean na 303 person na nagtitrade, 303 yung nag-change hands of trades. Then the 52-week low, so this is the lowest price to date on a year. This is the highest price of the year, for the year. Volume, this is shares traded. So 534,000 shares. Ito yung value ng shares in total, 12.38 million. So market cap, this is the size of the stock. It means ito yung shares invested by people publicly. And then this is the net foreign buying and net foreign selling. So nakikita natin here, green siya, 1.99 million. It means net foreign buying siya. So basically, that's how you, importante kasi ito, especially sa mga bago nagtitrade, it's very important to read numbers. Okay, so right now, let's try to look on one example of buying on bounce. First, to be able to have glimpse of how does it look like. Let's check recently on what happened with uh, ito na lang. Ito yung pinaka na bounce nung start ng pandemic. Actually, madami naman sa mga blue chip nag-bounce eh. But as we can see here, so pure gold is actually no mid-March actually went down big time. But nakita natin dito because of strong demand of pure gold, mas yung bounce niya. So nakita natin dito because pure gold is doing well, even fundamental ng pure gold is really doing well as well. So nakikita natin dito actually is almost of the 52-week low na din. Actually, na-touch niya yung 52-week low dito, meaning 1-year low niya. So possible, if since we check naman signs of reversals, you need to check din yung kung ano yung pattern, if that is really a sign of reversal. So nakikita natin dito is really a good bounce and nagtuloy-tuloy na siya. So you can also consider mga ganitong scenario, especially kung ang stock is really a good stock and nasa 52-week low na siya. So good way for you to be able to catch at the bottom, especially na din. It's you're seeing that on the RSI na din. So that's one way for you to be able to buy on bounce. Now another strategy is also lang to very daanan lang na natin mabilisan. Buy on breakout. So breakout, let's check with so nakikita natin dito si Century Food. Actually may spike siya dito. So kung nakikita natin dito nag-range siya at this level, then may malaking nag-jump yung price actually because of the earnings to. Second quarter versus 31%. So nag-jump yung price niya. So this is really good breakout. And right now medyo medyo may profit taking na. But nakikita natin dito that could be continuous pa. Another breakout na pwede nyo i-consider or a good example of a breakout nung time ng FGen, if you can still remember. So sobrang ganda ng breakout ang nangyari kay FGen. Actually nag-gap up siya. So actually pwede mo siyang gamitan ng Fibonacci. So I'm not going to do that in details na lang. So just for example, this one at this level, so nag-breakout siya here. So pwede mong we're going to talk about especially yung cutting losses. Natin yan, i-discuss natin yan sa topic later on. And also, let's check with Maganda din yung breakout ng ASEF. So nakikita natin dito long consolidation. So ito yung resistance, di ba? Ibig sabihin ng breakout, nag-break siya sa strong na resistance area. So with this one, nakikita natin dito, resistance to, di ba? 1, then 2, 3. So may mga cases na nangyayari dito. So valid resistance siya, then may breakout point dito. So you can buy kapag na broke yung resistance area here. Now, sana kung magbebenta ko, nakabili ako ng sa breakout, you can na-learn naman natin yung support and resistance, then you can sell it on the next resistance area. Looking at this, so possible na here, ito yung next na resistance niya. So, nakikita natin dito, medyo nag-consolidate na siya. So possible na-touch na niya yung major resistance here. So yun. Saan naman ako magka-cut at this level? Now there are two ways for you to be able to do your cut loss. Number one, pwedeng fix percentage. Halimbawa, bumili ka dito. So it's up to you. Ano yung percentage na okay ka na? 5%, 10%? So possible yan, gawin mo. Or possible magka-cut ka percentage below the support area or below yung yung breakout pag bumalik siya. At this level, kasi buy on breakout tayo, so pwedeng pag bumalik siya, halimbawa nag-fail yung breakout, nag-close siya below breakout, so pwedeng doon ka mag-cut loss. Or below yung pwedeng target price para pwede ding fixed percentage. So yun, cut loss pwede din yung fixed percentage. Right? And then basically ang trailing stop is basically nasabi na yun ni Kristine kanina. Para lang siyang cut loss, but pataas siya. Dito siya nag-profit ka na. So pag nakita mo na medyo hindi na niya aabutin yung target price mo, then you consider selling na. Either you sell on tranches, pwede ka mag-sell on tranches, or you sell na kasi nag-weaken na yung trend niya. Lalo na ngayon, yung market natin unpredictable, may mga breakout tayo, the next day bumababa na siya, hindi sustainable. So pwedeng mas i-tighten mo yung target price mo, then tight din yung trailing stop mo. Right? So okay. Alright, may problem ba yung audio ko?
So far, wala namang comments na may problema
so far,
sa audio.
so far so good naman. Okay. So yun lang. Just that's to give you an idea on how we do. Kasi importante kasi with technical analysis, you know your entry, you know your exit, especially you know your cut loss. Pag hindi ka talaga marunong mag-cut loss, sobrang very dangerous place for you to be able to trade stocks without doing proper technical analysis. Kasi yun importante. It's an original sin kung hindi ka nagka-cut loss. Especially, tinitrade natin mga speculative stocks. Tinitrade natin mga news-driven stocks. Very critical siya that we need to apply cut loss prices. Alright, so what I'm going to teach you now, especially sa mga bago, is how to use screeners. So I'll teach you one thing. Daming pwede mong gawin dito, but basically part yun ng Instagrams. So you just need to check it here. Now, ang gusto kong makita is yung net foreign buying, yung binibili ng mga foreign investors. So pwede mo din kasi silang sundan, then you would know kung anong buying behavior nila. So check ko yung net foreign buying. Let's say gusto kong makita in 30 days, 1 month. Ano yung uh, top
Bin-
buying ng mga foreign.
right.
Sige.
Ano yung binobodega ng mga foreigners?
Correct. So yun, pwede mo din kasi silang not necessarily naman talaga na yun na lang talaga yung titingnan mo kasi number one, check mo din talaga yung na discuss na kanina. Charting is very important, but this is an added tool that you can check on. So basically, as what we can see here, uh, ito yung top 10 na-accumulate ng mga foreign investors for the last 30 days. So we have Merimart, uh, we have PLFI Tech. This is a technology stock. Then APL, check natin, hindi yata ito alright, ito pala, sorry. So ito na yung correct ranking. Sorry kanina. Year to date pala yun na ano. So we have SM, we have, kasi usually mga foreign investors, mga big institutions, so they're really accumulating on good stocks na may value talaga. SM Prime Holdings, LHI, AEV, bumili din sila ng CHP, and ASEF. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The HOSEM, SMC, and GSM. So kayo na lang mag-check yan. But that's how to use screener. Screener is really important because that could make your life easier or trading easier. Right? So that's one way for you to be able to use a screener. And right now, let's check on how to use PSE disclosure. Now, PSE disclosure is an official disclosure tool ng PSE. Now, bakit ginagamit ito? Kasi nga, yung mga companies natin, mga publicly listed companies, they are really mandated to disclose in a timely manner, especially kung may mga changes ng mga companies that could affect stock price, so dapat nalalagay siya dito. Now, I'm not really going to go deeper on PSC Edge on how to use it, but I'll show you how to check mga parts no na that you can navigate and then that you can use. Now, company announcements. So ang hanapin mo dito, usually nagmo-move ang price using material information or material transaction. So yun yung mga changes ng companies na possible makapag-move ng stock price or mga significant na mga corporate action. So yun yung as portfolio manager, yun din yung tinitingnan namin. O share buybacks. So yung kung companies binibili na yung own shares nila, then declaration of stock dividends pag malaki yung dividend yield, so possible makapag-move ng price din. Check natin yung ibang parts here. Then ito, substantial acquisition. Ito. Actually yung Mackay nag-top nag-top gainer siya nung Friday because of this. So may in-acquire sila na interest, Artemis Plus Express, other company. So pag mga acquisition other companies, possible like kung maganda yung possible result nun, so possible mag-move yung price. Kasi Mackay, I think tumaas to ng nung Friday. Tumaas to ng 20% because of that disclosure. So yun. Then ibang part nito. So medyo lang, bumagal yung ko. Balikan natin yan mamaya. Then yun, material information, material transaction, and you can also see on PSC Edge, especially kung mga directors bumili at or nagbebenta ng stock nila. So you can see that here. Then quarterly and annual earnings, makikita nyo din dito. Actually, madali na ngayon kasi sa Instagrams nakikita na din. Stock dividend and cash dividend, nakikita din dito. Then pag hold and suspend yung trading on a particular stock, possible pag na-lift yun, uh, mag-move yung stock price. Especially kung may kung may transaction na significant, just like McKay, actually siya, na-suspend siya for a short period of time just to really give people time to think kung yung transaction ba yun, positive ba yun or negative ba yun. And then I think that's pretty it. May madami pang pwedeng i-discuss na rin dito but we're running out of time. And then lastly din ng slides ko, factors that we need to consider as well on actually we need to consider on buying or selling stock. Importante is yung market sentiment. Just like ngayon, nasa bear market pa din tayo. We are still in the pandemic. So very important na check natin kung anong overall emotion of the market because market sentiment is important as a metric for trading. When sentiment is bad or negative, we are likely to lose money than make money. That is very true. Ngayon, yung mga trading is really hit and run. Kami very tight yung cut loss namin, even very tight yung target price namin. 5%, 7% okay na yun sa trading namin. Out na agad kami. Kasi ngayon, uso yung fake out, then uso yung sell down. So yun. Catalyst is also important. Do we have catalyst for this particular stock? Tumas yung mining na stocks for the past 2 weeks. Bakit? Kasi there's a possibility or si Mato is reviewing yung mga mining companies na possible na i-reopen. Kaya yung mga mining stocks natin, EPX, Felix Mining, FNI, Nickel Asia, tumataas sila. Kasi stocks tends to move on their sector, especially kung may catalyst on that particular sector. Importante din is a fundamental analysis. Importante din yung PE ratio, book value, earnings and dividends. Kaya importante yung natin, yung fundamental analysis na webinar natin last week with Chano and Chi. I know that we followed that and that's very important because as a fund manager, as a portfolio manager, ako highly I'm using technical analysis, I think around 70 to 80%, but I'm also really checking on the fundamental side of the company. Then technical analysis importante, trend, then exit, entry, and stop loss and trailing stop. So yun, that's how you gauge it. That's how you view the market. Check mo talaga mga importanteng details, especially technical analysis. Kaya ngayon, no nonsense technical analysis is really important. Thank you for our teachers or stock market educators, Lloyd and Kristine. They're really helping us, especially with building our courses. May mga courses kaming available that's gonna be available for free. Malapit na talaga. We're just checking na lang mga few details, but I know that you're waiting on that, guys. It's gonna be available soon. We are going to discuss that. We are going to do that live as well. I know that you're excited. And by the way, guys, since we are running out of time na din, I'm just going to tell it to you. Our next session, very exciting yon. We have actually a guest. Di pa ready yung poster namin, but exciting yung guest natin, veteran trader. Tsaka kung fan kayo ng Ghost Fighter, so isa siya sa mga characters doon. So
Si
yun.
Taduro.
Pero yun, exciting yun. Kami pa din, kasama nyo pa din si Lloyd, si Kristine, yung barkada na stocks and barkada. Makasama nyo next Saturday, and also our guests will be announcing that soon. All right, I'll give the floor back to our host, Lloyd.
Arnel, can you please stop the screen share muna?
All right, sure. Thank you, Lloyd. Okay.
Alright, so i-gallery review ko lang para makita nyo lahat. Ayan. Okay, so guys, hopefully, pasensya na. There are questions here na hindi namin masagot, but we will be answering that through comments. So just leave your questions or send us a message sa page namin mismo sa Stocks Ed so that we can answer it. Ang ganda ng mga questions, kaso nga lang pasensya na, kulang tayo sa time. Basically, technical analysis takes time to understand. So intindihan na lang tayo muna. Right, so yes, may question dito. Alas 8 din po ng gabi sa Sabado yan. Yes, abangan nyo po sa page namin. We will be announcing the special guest. May poster po kami ipopost niyan. So every Saturdays po, meron po tayong program to...
Kung fan ka ni Eugene sa Goose Fighter, join kayo.
Alright, so thank you so much everyone for participating. It is our pleasure to help everyone. Sama-sama tayo. Kumbaga, let's get rich together dito 'di ba? So, if you have any questions, may tanong kanina, may website ba tayo para ma-review itong mga lessons na ito? Definitely, we are building that and it's gonna be for free. I-announce po namin yan once it's already ready. So, abangan nyo po. Arnel and Kristine, you have any parting words with everyone?
You can review as well. May bago tayong YouTube channel sa Stocks Ed.
Yes.
We're actually posting yung mga yung mga webinars natin there. If you want to replay it, then yeah, it's already available.
Right. All right, so that's it for this evening. Again, thank you so much for participating. If you find this content helpful for you, please favor from our end. We hope we were able to we deserve this para paki-like na lang po ang Facebook page natin and please share the video. Please share the video para po marami po tayong mga kabayan na nagsisimula pa lang sa investing journey nila matulungan natin. Alright. So, good evening and God bless. Enjoy your weekend. Let's get rich together.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye po.
Bye!
Thank you.